Hey guys, AilouPup here, and today I'm bringing to you a review of Guilty Pleasures by Laurell Hamilton. I don't usually read vampire books because of the few that I have read. I've not yet read a series that focuses on vampires and thought it was a good series. And while this series doesn't have just vampires, it does seem to me to focus on the vampires rather than the other supernatural creatures. The story follows Anita Blake as she works to hunt down a murderer who is killing vampires for the vampires. Anita is a flippant, stubborn character, but it just makes her more lovable. She is an animator who has a side job of killing vampires, for the law of course. She readily admits that she's afraid of vampires, which is why she doesn't work for them willingly, so of course the vampires need a way to make her work for them. Anita believes in God and goes to church every Sunday when she can, and she values loyalty to humans above all else. Other characters are of course just as fun and interesting to learn about. Edward, who has no last name that I could find, is a vampire slayer as well, but for him it's more than just a side job or a hobby. Anita makes note at one point that Edward started out as a hitman, but found humans too easy, so he started killing vampires instead. She also later notes that he is like a chameleon, able to change his colors with a single thought. The villain of the story is a vampire named Nikolaos, who is a sadistic monster in every sense of the word. She enjoys giving pain and fear to others, whether they be vampire, human, or lycanthrope, or other supernatural creature. And while this is shown often throughout the book, I feel that it was needed information for the reader. The reader needs to know just how crazy this vampire is, and she is crazy. And then there is Jean-Claude, of course, who is a lot more merciful for a vampire than the other vampires throughout the book. He appears kind of indifferent at times and mysterious to those who don't know him well. As I've said before, Guilty Pleasures focuses more on the vampires than the other supernatural creatures, but of course they're not the only creatures in the book. From what I know of the series itself, we will see zombies due to Anita raising them from the dead and laying them to rest, ghouls, and lycanthropes such as were-rats, werewolves, were-leopards, were-tigers, and the like, along with, of course, vampires. There are probably other supernatural creatures that I'm just not thinking of or that I don't know about. Because Guilty Pleasures is her first book, I do feel that it's probably the weakest in the series, but at the same time it's also the strongest because it's the book that draws you in and makes you want to come back for more. At points throughout the story I did think to myself that this sentence or that sentence or this paragraph or that paragraph could have been written better, and at this point I've only read one other book in this series. Was in audiobook format, so I don't know if this gets better, but if it doesn't, it's not to the point where I would mind all that much. I would highly recommend this book for fans of horror or vampires or both. This is actually the third time I've read this book, and my opinion of it hasn't changed in the least. I've given it a 5 out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to come back for more if you liked this one.